much, guys. Welcome back to another deck profile. Today we're going to be looking at Hand Fling. Hand Fling is an interesting deck that I thought was going to be better than it was, and it's really not, but it's okay. It's a lot of fun. It is all revolving around the deck where, or attacks, where you have a whole bunch of cards in your hand and does more damage for every card in your hand. So the most common iteration of this is in the monkeys from Breakthrough. All three of the monkeys have that same hand fling attack. Its attack does 10 damage times the number of cards in your hand. Pretty cool. We play all three of them basically just for type coverage. This deck does kind of struggle with damage output. Generally speaking, you can end your turn with 7 to 8 cards in your hand fairly easily and deal that much damage. But if you're going to have it doubled, even better. So it does well against stuff that's weak to fire, weak to grass, weak to water, and just so happens weak to metal, which, like we've said in the past, isn't a lot. But this Metagross does do the same thing. It does 20 plus 10. This just does 10 times. It is on a stage 2. It's a non-EX 150 HP Pokemon, so I guess this would technically be considered your main attacker, and then these are all your attackers for different type situations. The cool part about this is that if you notice, all of them are colorless attacks. So we can kind of use any energy type we want. We could use metal so that Gear Press could be an attack, but that's not the point of the deck. So instead we actually use fire. And that's so that we can blacksmith to the Semisphere if we need to. And it's for a couple other reasons, which I'll show you in a moment. But those are your 4 main attackers. Those are your only attackers in the deck. You're going to be using those hand fling attackers. Now, there are a lot of support Pokemon in this deck to kind of get your hand size up. You are going to play Execute. Reason being is because there's a lot of cards that say, like, discard this card or whatever. Normally, I'm not a proprietor for this card just in any deck, but in this deck, it works because it keeps your hand size up. You are playing the 1-1 Claydol, and we're actually only going to play a 1-1 Porygon. We're not playing the full 2-2, because we are also playing the Delcatty and the Ninetales. Now, this is going to, and then here are your other two. We don't play Dunsparce or Uxie, or not Dunsparce, Dunsparce or Spiritomb. But reason being because of these is that it changes a 1 energy in your hand to 3 cards in your hand. So you're essentially getting plus 20 damage from every time you see one of these. This Vulpix also really good beacon. That's the reason you don't necessarily need to play Dunsparce or Spiritomb, because we are playing this Vulpix that kind of does double as both for extra searching and draw power. So there you have it. We do keep the download Porygon in here because it is so good, but there is more support Pokemon than attacking Pokemon. That's just to kind of keep your hand size up. So there's all that. Remember, it's all about just increasing your hand size. As we go through this deck, we will talk about that. So supporters, not so standard, but there are a couple interesting ones. Searching cards, we have Skyla and Karina, Rosie's and Pokemon Collector. Those are really the only searching supporters we have. Draw supporters, we are seeing Copycat. Cynthia's Feelings, if you get knocked out, shuffle draw 8. So that's, if you end your turn with this after getting knocked out, that's plus 80 damage. Juggler, it's discard 2 energies. If you discard 1, draw 3, 2, draw 5. So it's either a plus 20 damage or plus 30 damage supporter, if you think about it that way. Sage's Training, it's a 1 for 2. You're going to play it. You get 2 more cards in your hand, so that's plus 10 damage. Colress, Juniper, and Sycamore, both of those. And we're only playing N, we're not playing both N and Rockets, purely because it's a card that's not necessarily going to give you plus X amount of damage every turn. So playing 1 kind of frees you up room for it, and you still need 1 for those late game scenarios. Drawing 2 cards, we have Oracle, Teammates, and Twins. Pretty standard. You do fall behind early because if you don't get a lot of cards in your hand early, this deck can spiral out of control. Switching cards, we're going to see just Guzma, no Lysander, because you want to keep cards in your hand, and you want to play at least 1. We're playing AZ and Brimies though, because you can use like your support Pokemon to discard 1, draw 3, and then play this to pick up your support Pokemon, that 1/1 line. That's also a plus 10 damage, so it's just a way to get extra cards into your hand. And Mizzet cards here, we're going to play Marley's Request, and Fisherman is in this deck because that's a plus 30 damage. You play the Fisherman, and then you get 4 energies back into your hand. Blacksmith, we're playing Fire energies, so kind of makes sense. Iris, we struggle with damage output. Hex Maniac, Lysander trump card, and then the one weird one here, Haul On Lass. Now this says look at the top card of your deck for each prize card remaining and grab an energy. So if you have to discard a card to use it, so you propagate, discard, execute to use it, it's not much. So as long as you hit 2 energies, this card is plus 10, plus 20, plus 30. If you get really lucky, it can be like plus 40, plus 50 damage. So that's why we play that, because most of your energy will be in your deck anyways. And the reason your energy is going to be in your deck is because you're not attaching it, you're not discarding it, it's just going into your hand, and your opponent is most likely going to end or judge you. So your energy is going to be all in your hand from Fisherman, Haul On Lass, gets shuffled back in, and then you want to draw it right back. So those are your supporters. Items. Searching items. We have computer search, timer ball, and dual ball, because these do have the potential of going plus 10 damage in your hand. Most of the time, 50% of the time, they're only going to grab one. You're only going to flip 1 heads and 1 tails. And that's just a 1-for-1, so it's a wash on your damage. But the 25% of the time, you will gain damage off of this by just putting cards into your hand. Ultra Ball, it's just a good card. Yeah, it will lower your damage, but you need a search, the best search in the game. Level Ball and Luxury Ball, we actually have been playing Professor's Letter as well, because that's plus 10 damage into your hand just by searching out energies. Lieutenant Searcher's Treaty is just extra draw power, but it is draw power where you don't plus or minus from it. It's literally just 0 damage. So if you're digging, this is a good card to dig with. Oak, every deck. We are playing all of the Blaine's quizzes because they have the potential of plus 10 damage. Erica for plus 20, Bill for plus 10, and then Misty's. You're also playing Misty's Wrath, just because it's plus 10 damage, but it's in every deck. It's really good. Recovery options. We're going to see Time Space Distortion, as well as Item Finder and Junk Arm, Pow Pad, Versus Seeker, and Retriever. And then we're also playing Superior Energy Retrieval and Super Energy Retrieval, because with Execute, these become plus 20 damage items there. And then we're also playing Imposters, Battle Compressor, and Scoop Up. We're playing Battle Compressor in this deck to throw your fires in the discards so that your Superior Energy Retrievals can actually count for plus damage. Also, you can throw your Execute in that damage in the deck so that Item Fighter and Junk Arm aren't losing you too much damage from your hand. So it's a little bit different. You kind of have to get a different mentality with it. There's a few cards that do get tweaked. You notice there is mostly staple stuff in this section, but there are stuff, like we are playing a Time Space Distortion to hopefully get plus damage from that. Same with the Bills, that sort of thing. So, and there are energy retrievals in a deck that doesn't need energy acceleration from the hand. Like I said, you just want all that energy in your hand for extra damage. Moving on to stadiums, we are going to play a Broken Time Space as well as Scorched Earth. We're playing fire energies, so Scorched Earth turns into a plus 10 damage by discarding a card from your hand and draw 2. And Speed Stadium, the more this is awesome. If you can flip a whole lot of heads in a row, it's just purely just gain damage from it. That's really all you're going to look for there. Support or items, you're going to be looking at Muscle Band Floatstone, or in every single deck. Or sorry, tools, Muscle Band Floatstone. EXP and Share, all of your attacks are double attacks, so experience share to keep those flowing. And then we're going to be looking at ways to draw cards here. Amulet Coin is draw a card at the end of your turn if you're attached to the active. Lucky Egg is draw 2 to have 7 if you get knocked out. And then Lucky Helmet, when you get attacked, draw 2. Just ways to gain extra damage into your hand. We're going to play all of the Elite Four and Dowsing Machine. No reason not to play any of these. It just kind of makes sense. And then for our energies, it is kind of one that I would like to talk about a little bit more. We do have Upper and DCE, and that's it. We could play Boost. We could play Double Rainbow. We could play... there's one more. There's one more. It's drawing a blank on me right now. But the only reason you play these two is because you could play Boost, and we probably should play Boost. To be honest, we could play Boost. We don't play Double Rainbow is because that's technically minus 20 damage from your hand. Because you attach it, and that takes the card out of your hand to reduce damage, and it gets that minus 10 damage from from using it. So you kind of have to weigh your options of, okay, is this worth it to reduce this damage by 10? Because all your damage is just going up in increments of 10. It's not going by 20, it's not going by 30. So you have to, that damage reduction is really, really bad as a minus 20 swing for an effect that's just going to make you attack, right? And maybe not for as much. So Double Rainbow could be played in this deck. I choose not to just for that reason. I'm kind of just going to rely on experience share and attaching energies and that sort of thing, and kind of these two as well. But Boost could be considered. But 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 energy. We do want to play a lot of energies so we can hit that haul and last so that the energies can go into the discard pile so we can super energy retrieval them, so we can blacksmith them so we don't miss an energy drop. That's why you play a lot here. I would be scared to go lower than 13 just because of those reasons, because energy in your hand is kind of the core damage output of this deck. You want to have all of these in your hand. We're not looking for other cards. We want to play the other cards, but there's end your turn with like 6 or 7 energies in your hand, and then a couple of other draw supporters. That's generally what happens with this deck. It's pretty cool that it happens so frequently where you're just ending with like 5 energy cards that wouldn't have been there otherwise, plus the 3 or 4 you would have ended with if you weren't playing this deck. Just kind of works out that way, so I don't want to drop below 13. That's about it. That's Hand Fling. If you have any questions, please let me know. It's kind of a weird deck, but it's super, super fun to kind of control your hand size and deal more damage with it. So yeah, any questions, please ask. If not,